Was taking that photos too easy? Or was it too difficult? Were you on the verge of risking your life even while shooting? Is it possible then your personal experience, your efforts, or the lack of them, influenced the way you think for a photo of yours? Well, these are some of the questions we'll speak about in this part of the course. Which photo was taken how, and if it really matters? Think over it. This is a problem not for beginners only, in fact. Even experienced photographers face it. Me as well. Right, even I still catch myself in the same trap. Time for some stories. How it was shot. I'm at an intersection waiting for a colleague of mine. On the shoulder, as usual, the camera is hanging. A bus is pulling up and stops at a red light. I see this story from the photo in front of you. I'm taking literally 2 or 3 shots, the bus leaves. A colleague comes up and we go for work. How easy everything was. I'm thinking while downloading the pictures at home later that night. Well, then I moved this image to my archive and didn't touch it for a long time, in fact. Time passed. Once I decided to do it and to publish it just like that. I was so surprised by the reaction you can't even imagine. It was the wow effect almost everywhere, and I was not prepared. Later, this photo even won a prize in a contest and was published in many places. Yeah, why I underestimated it at first? Because taking it was too easy for me. Actually, no one knows your story behind the frame. Your audience is interested in the story within the frame. They are interested in what they see. And here comes another photo, another story. This is my first serious reportage, Jerusalem 2008. The event, the ascent of the Holy Fire. There were a lot of pilgrims who had made their way through the very narrow streets of the old city of Jerusalem, streets where Arabs would sell souvenirs. The pilgrims were on the way to the church. Then in a moment everything stopped and the stampede began. I found myself seriously pressed against the wall under the foot of a small curb on which I got stuck. Yes, it was under one of my feet. I remember I was slightly turned around and could not stand on both of my feet. It got worse. People lost consciousness, started to panic. There was practically nothing the military police could do. I was left alone with the sailors at the opposite side of me. This is what you see in the frame. These sailors are also trapped just in their own store. As a result of the whole story, I had a broken lens hood. I was dehydrated and one of my legs didn't work quite properly. The most important part of the experience is the photo that you see. Driving home, I felt satisfied. I knew it was worth it. I had a photo. Now, let's compare these 2 photos. I think that both of them are strong enough. But what's the problem? In the first case, I underestimated the picture only because it was too easy for me to take it. In the second case, I was a young, novice photographer with the feeling that I had been to war. Literally in agony, I took this photo. Well done. It must be a good one. I was sure at that point. What I mean is that you need to learn how to look at your work without any prejudice, without considering your own emotions, your own experience. Believe me, I still find it difficult. Because of that, I often leave the photos for a while shooting. I need to be objective when choosing and showing the photo. This is my strong advice for you as well. Emotions are not our best friend. Here is another example. Ultra-Orthodox Jews in a separate close neighborhood in Jerusalem. There you can often enough face a serious scandal or run into troubles of a kind. Strong photo, strong story behind it. This is the invisible layer, let's call it that way, for the audience. They really don't know. I mean, if you have no idea who these people are, or if you're not aware of the situation in Jerusalem, you'd not say that this is something wow, okay? But I knew it because I was there, and I knew how much effort it meant to me to be there and to be shooting. Another photo, another story. Not that impressive. The photo was taken while I was waiting for the bus. So first I took it with a phone, then I had a moment to think about the story itself, to decide that I like it, and to shoot with my camera. Does it make it worse than the previous one just because it was not difficult, because it was not dangerous? You know the answer already. Absolutely not. Quite a decent photo, in my view. And a slightly different example, the final one. The underground, low lighting, no filming allowed. The train was no more than a minute away. I shot on f1.2 and this is the only photo in focus out of 5 or 6 taken. Yes, the person himself, you can't even say what mood he's in. Looking at this photo, you have no idea what circumstances I took it in. You have no idea that this was difficult for me. You are interested in the result, of course. Then comes another one. Village, a woman burning autumn leaves, me shooting calmly for a distance of 200 millimeters. Beauty. All I had to do was to just click on the button and go on. And that's where the problem comes. The first frame from the underground is times weaker than the second image. I, as a photographer, see it. Just my brain at the same time keeps telling me, dude, you suffered, you were scared, you took a risk taking that image in the underground. So let's agree that this picture is the stronger one, huh? Great, but no. Remember, the viewer has no idea how you got the photo. And he doesn't need to think about it. He doesn't care about this one. The viewer is not interested in your own struggles with your own camera. They need the result. Everything is simple. The photo either catches their attention or not, and they keep scrolling down. That's what I was talking about. You must be able to evaluate your photos objectively, as if they were not yours. There is another problem. You took, for example, a picture of a man who strongly reminds you of your grandfather, for example. So you decide on an emotional level that this is a very good photo, a great one, just because of the resemblance. Please don't forget that I, as a viewer of your work, don't know your grandfather. And if there is nothing else in the picture, apart from the resemblance with a dear person or a memory of yours, well, I'm sorry, it will not be of any interest to me. Another interesting topic we'll cover in the next lecture. See you there.